Well, I suppose it's been 2 years, and I should finally review this thing. My CBR650F. Oh, she's alive. So, of all the bikes in the world available to me, why did I land on this thing? Well, key reason being, I really wanted an inline-4 bike, but because I'm unfortunate enough to live in the UK, where insurance is basically built to punish you, I couldn't really get that when I passed my full licence, or I couldn't get a true inline-4 sport bike. So I had to settle with what is a sort of sports tour, is sort of a casual bike. It doesn't really know, or didn't really know where it belonged when it was this bike, the Honda CBR650F. So an inline four sport bike, producing 85 to 90 horsepower. Now, that's not a whole ton, especially when you compare it to something like the 600RR, which has a lower engine capacity, a higher compression ratio, and is putting out about 120 horsepower out of a similar size chassis. But what this bike had was low costs, and that's really what I needed to start with. I would have loved to have a Fireblade. That ain't happening. This bike as well allowed me to learn a lot. Now, same as when you get your car license, you learn to pass a test, and then you learn to ride on the road once you've actually got your license and you're out on yourself. This bike's very forgiving, despite the fact it has no traction control and an older style ABS system, and kind of meh brakes as well. They're the old style. It's not upside down forks either, they're right way up, even though you could probably say that the upside down ones are now right way up. It's a bike built to a budget, but it's a bike that does everything you want it to do. I can commute to work on this bike, I can go out for a weekend in the twisty Scottish countryside, or, well, you could take this on track. It'd be a little bit out of place compared to the things around it, but you could probably ride it pretty damn fast. I know for a fact I can keep up with liter bikes when I'm out on the road, but they're probably not pushing it as hard as I am. Would I recommend this bike to people? Without a doubt, instantly. This will pretty much always be my first choice of bike if someone wants to get into biking and they can get this bike. Now, whether it's this, or it's the newer 650R, or it's the 650R with the E-clutch, this engine is super reliable. I think the newer model's up to 24,000 miles for valve clearances. For a beginner that doesn't probably know much about motorbiking, it's a very easy bike to get into. With now about 11 years of history of this engine being on sale, Honda's worked it out, and it is a very easy engine to work on yourself. As I said, it's a 649cc inline 4. It's the bare bones motorbike engine. It's kind of that style's been about forever. Everyone kind of gets it now. This one's been fitted with a few accessories in my 2 years of having it. So we've got the quad lock wireless charger, the Oxford Pro heated grips, which obviously I definitely need today, and the nice Acropovic slip-on kit. I couldn't afford the Acropovic, it's the Black Widow. I tried to get the least offensive sounding one, while not losing the sound that I wanted to have or the underslung look. And this right here is evidence that this bike does belong out on these roads. I can lean it over pretty confidently and it's happy on the Michelin Road 6s that I'm currently using. I don't feel out of place out here. Do I have the absolute get and go of bigger bikes? No, because it's not built to do that. But I am really comfortable on this. I've still got the clip-on lean-in if I want to have it, or I can sit back a bit, enjoy the sort of air bubble that I've got from the screen here where you're currently bouncing about on, and it just makes sense. Now, will I have this bike forever? No, I more than likely won't. It is a bike that it still has more to give than I can get from it, but I'm looking for some newer things. The dash, talking about things I don't like, the dash on here is pretty rudimentary. You get very little to no information out. You get your speedometer, you get a fuel gauge, you get a trip meter. That's pretty much all you're going to get there. You don't have a gear indicator. As I said earlier, I don't even have traction control. Not that that's totally necessary on bikes, but when you ride in Scotland where it's wet and it's icy and it's snowy about 3/4 of the year, stuff like that gives you a little bit more confidence when you still want to hit it hard and the road conditions aren't to your favour. Other things that sort of date this bike a little bit now, it's a cable actuated throttle, so there are no adjustable ride modes. Of course there's no adjustable ride modes, it's a cheap bike. You can get some form of quick shifter added to it, but as I've said in the previous video, clutchless upshifting works just fine. Now a lot of people ask, how fast is this bike? Because it's not a fast bike, but it's still faster than cars. So let's find out just how fast it is. Someone clip that, time that, I don't know if I can do that. But there is still plenty of get up and go from this bike when you want it to be there. There's more get up and go from other bikes, but this bike is mine, and I love this thing. So tell me down below, what was your first bike? Did you fall in love with it, or was it just a stopgap before moving on to something bigger? I feel incredibly blessed that I got this bike when I did, and I think it's made me fall in love with biking almost every time that I've sat on the saddle and gone for a ride. I do truly hope you feel the same every time you ride. Peace out, guys.